In this video I'm going to look at a different version for this. This one says empty. I'm going to look at one called Isset. The two are a little bit different. Let's take a look at what I mean. If we've got something on our URL, and so I do that, first name equals, and there's nothing there, that means it's empty. So we're testing for that. But as we are probably going to be talking to a database, whatever is passed in is important. It could be things like latitude and longitude, and maybe you've given the latitude but you've not given the longitude. I don't mean just empty, I mean just not present at all. So for example, if I had that, I've got nothing present at all. That can be tested for using the keyword is set. So I'm going to show you that, and I'm also going to show you some logic with PHP. So first of all, I'm going to keep this, if not empty, get the first name, but I'm also going to check if it's present. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to say two things. If it's not empty and if it's set, then I'm going to come into here. But if it's either empty or it doesn't appear at all, I'm going to give no error, no data. So and in Python is 2 ampersands. So that's a little bit of logic for you. And then I'm going to have another sort of clause in my if statement. So if set, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing as I did here. I'm going to copy that and paste it in there. So that is now saying if it's not empty and it exists, then we're going to do it. I'm going to save that. It's still in index 2. So let's take a look at that in our Python file. So at the moment, this one is not set, is empty. It's not set, if that makes sense. So if I run this program, I should end up with it's an error, no data. Let's imagine that I just have one called last name. Okay, now it's not set at all. We don't have a value for first name. We don't even have first name. That's going to give me the same error message. So if I run that, there we go, error, no data. It's a little bit trite. It's very difficult to understand or get right. I mean, if it's not set, it definitely can't have a value. So it's never going to execute. So what I'm going to do is, instead of having first name, I'm going to have age. So if I don't put an age on the in the URL, it's not going to work. So I'm going to reset my first name. So let's save that first. I'm going to reset the first name to a value. So first name equals John. So we now have a value. It's not empty. Okay. However, we don't have an age variable being passed on this line. Okay, and I'll show you that in a second. So if I save that, so although the first name is set, I'm still going to get error, no data. Okay, error, no data. So the way to stop that happening is to actually set it. So if I join on, have another variable called age, I'm not even bothered what's in it, I'm just going to leave it blank. There we go. Now that should be working. So we should have first name John and age, and it should print out what I require. There we go. Again, if I've got that and no value for John, I'm going to end up with an error again. Right. From now on, we're going to start looking at where we're getting the data from. We're going to start looking at a database.